Hey y'all, just getting ready to do this pick a pile video. I felt led to do this, so um, this is really the focus is going to be about what you're missing. Like you just feel like, what am I missing? You're seeing a situation, but there's something you can feel that something's missing. So have that intention in your mind of trying to get clarity on that particular whatever it is you feel like you're missing, and then select which of these. This will be pile 1, this will be pile 2, and this will be pile 3. I don't know how to edit, so I'm just going to kind of have this recording, and so I will add timestamps in the description after I'm through. Okay, so if you picked pile 1, this is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. I will set these aside here. Okay, let's see what we have for pile 1. So the overarching energy is timeline, and that is a 47 card, which breaks down to an 11 or a 2. So it could be about a choice. It could, like a crossroads, but it also could be, there's a lot of energy in regard to creating your own timeline, in a sense. Let's see, where did my little book go? I just want to check something real quick for this card. Yeah, it's definitely about a choice. So these are the questions that will prompt you to find your answer. So it says, do I fear the choices that are before me? Are there reoccurring choices because of the fear to choose? Am I letting my timeline unfold before me? Is this situation presenting because it is part of my timeline? Okay. All right, let's see what else comes out. Okay, so we get intuitive nudges. It says intuition is the language of the soul. We are all born aware with a profound sense of inner knowing. Intuition is one of the greatest gifts we possess, which keeps us connected to our higher selves, the universe, and to our divine spirit. So I feel like, right there, it's saying like you need to trust your intuition. And I feel like a lot of people do not trust their intuition because they, maybe there was some decision or something in the past that made them, they felt like their intuition led them wrong. And, I'm not the expert, but what I will say is I believe that to be false. I don't believe your intuition ever, ever, ever leads you wrong. What happens is you become disconnected from your intuition and your ego takes over, which is mind. And if you're not centered and you're not grounded, your mind can tell you things falsely. You're more apt to be misguided by your ego, by your mind, than you are ever your intuition. So there's definitely the choice may not be the bigger deal here, right? The choice or the crossroads that you're at, it may not be the main focus here. The main focus could be about reconnecting to your intuition. Okay, so now we get appreciate your talents. So I think that this is definitely speaking to some of you who, I mean, this card did say we we are all given this gift of intuition, but some of you may have a particular talent. You could have some type of, metaphysical talent. You could, be an empath. You could be clairvoyant, psychic. What is the word called? Clairsentient. There's all different. You could be a medium. I think that there's something with this card that is really saying that is an area to explore. And maybe that is part of your new timeline, right? We've all been going through a lot of cycles. There's a ton of cosmic activity. I'm not an astrologist, so I don't really want to speak specifically to it, but we're all going through energies that maybe we've never experienced before or not in this manner. So we are, noticing things. We are having, stirrings inside that we haven't had before. So I feel like there's definitely a call to appreciate your talent, and I feel like it goes back to this intuition. Okay, so then we get sodalite. Socialize or join in. Make healthy and supportive new friendships and connections by getting involved with a group of like-minded people. And so I'm just going to scoot these down because I still feel like we're kind of in this overarching energy here. And see, this person is like, they're either holding a crystal ball or there is some type of geometric shape lit up, levitating in their palms. And I mean, I just feel like seeing this light that goes straight through. It's like it's really talking about your spiritual ascension. And so I think that there's something to be said for looking for like-minded individuals that are going through similar things or have been going through. Okay, so the next card out we get is the Sacred Pool. And that's funny because it's the same number, 4747. So there's really some synchronicities that Spirit is trying to show you. So I feel like with the Sacred Pool, let me just show it to you. The Sacred Pool is really about looking in the mirror and clearly seeing yourself. It's about the transformations that you've made, but a lot of times, it reminds me of like, say you're at work with someone every day and they could be losing weight like crazy. And one day you look up and you're just like, oh my God, I didn't realize how much weight they've lost or something, right? This definitely can be true of yourself. You are going through small changes constantly, and your mental view or your perspective of yourself just adjusts the whole time. And so you don't see that transformation that you're going through. And it's really time to look at that and really, that's why journaling can be so helpful to kind of look back and see like, where was I mentally, right? And go, if you're someone who takes selfies or whatever, maybe look back. And it's not about just aging, right? It's about how you fundamentally changed. I feel like we're constantly changing, and sometimes like there'll be something where you see a physical change in someone's face, and it's not just, like I said, age. There could be a more clearness to their eyes. There could be less clearness to their eyes, like the sparkle is gone or the sparkle is there, and it's definitely something that you can see. So I feel like that's what the Sacred Pool, and then maybe that's where we're talking about here with this timeline is, are we going in a direction that's going to take us or move us forward? Or are we starting to backtrack to old ways, right? But we don't know that unless we look at where we've been. Now, I'm not saying dwell on the past. I'm saying really harvest the past for those points in you, right? Okay, so next we have empathy, and it says, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. And it's funny that that comes out under this intuitive nudges, because empathy can really be, you know, an empath is highly intuitive. And if you don't already resonate or kind of classify yourself as an empath, I strongly suggest you do a little research and see if you may be an empath. The next one we have is Archangel Michael saying, you are safe. I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. So I feel like with this appreciate your talents, you could be a protector. You could be, if you are exploring any kind of spiritual gifts, maybe you're afraid to pursue those because you don't understand that you're being protected. Ask Archangel Michael to protect you whenever you're exploring. Well, always, always. You have to have spiritual protection just to deal with, you know, people day to day that aren't in your personal circle. It might be people at work. It might be customers that you deal with. Especially now we're going back to things are starting to open up. I strongly suggest that there is, you know, that you ask Archangel Michael to protect you and guard you from any kind of, what does it say, lower energies disrupting your talents, okay? And the last one we get out here is the Kelpie. The longings of your heart are prophecies of reality, of realities. Wow, that says so much. That says so much. That's really resonating with me. So I feel like what's being said here is the things that you're longing for. It's not just wishes. It's not just, you know, oh yeah, someday, or maybe this, maybe that. These are prophecies. You're being told that these are prophecies. These are actual visions of your future. You can have those things that you're longing for in your heart. That is huge. I mean, you know, I don't know what your personal beliefs are. Everyone is different. But for those of you that picked pile 1, I feel like there's definitely a spiritual calling happening here. And I think that if we're asking, like, what am I missing? What am I missing? It's about pursuing your spiritual gifts and being open, you know, being open to allowing your spirit team around you to present, you know, show you what you can do and show you the things that you had no idea about. You're going to just get sudden nudges that don't necessarily make sense to you, but they will start to make sense. The path will be lit up for you. Okay, so I am just going to get clarification on the timeline here. Why is timeline here? Okay, and we get the 3 of Swords. So I feel like this choice is being, whatever this choice or this crossroads that you're at has so much to do with some pain that you still need to heal from. And that could be a huge blocker for a lot of people. There's a reason that this reminds me of a stop sign. It really can be a big blocker. And maybe you don't know how to go about it. Just ask. Just ask. Ask Archangel Michael. Ask, I'm still learning just like all of you. So, ask your spirit team to help you get through this healing, to clear that blockage. And I feel like all of this is going to open up to you. All right, let's clarify, appreciate your talents. And we get the Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like there's some work that you're doing, you're working hard at. And I don't think that you recognize that you are mastering whatever you're working on. And I think it's time to look in the mirror and recognize how far you've come. You're mastering this. Whatever it is, it's going to be different for each of you. Okay, well, that is the message that came through for group 1. If you felt led to watch the others as well for different facets of your life, then stick around. I will put the timestamps for the other groups in the description. Okay, if this is where we part, thank you so much for watching, and I do appreciate it. Remember that the universe has your back, and so do I. Take care. Okay, let's move these out of the way to get ready for group 2. Okay. So this is group 2, and let's get started. Thank you so much for watching. The overarching energy for group 2 is fire. Okay, so let's see what questions we need to ask ourselves for fire. All right, so the questions you need to ask yourself is, do I believe in my passions, or am I stifled thinking I have no energetic fuel? Find your full fuel. It is there. It is waiting to be lit. So I don't know how that resonates. We'll see how the other cards play out. Those are just the questions that are the overarching for group 2. Okay? So next we get find your center. Your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? So I really feel like I see this, it says about your center, but I see this red in the fire, and I really feel like it's about finding your center and also getting back to what you're passionate about. Sometimes we can lose sight of that when we are, again, just dealing with day-to-day things, and it seems like there's not enough time in the day. And it's funny because there is this clock here, and I'm feeling like there's just so much going on, and it's not that they're bad things. It's just that where's the time to focus on yourself and really get back to what you're passionate about. Okay, so next we have practice moderation. And, you know, they always say moderation in everything that you do, right? So I feel like for this, I feel like there's probably some things that are taking more of your time and energy than necessary, and don't align with you. I did a wealth reading recently, and one of the messages that came through was not, it was more about spending, but it was about looking at, you know, your bank statement and saying, like, where, you know, kind of organizing it and saying, where's all my money going? And then when you kind of classify it and say, is that what, is that what I want? Is that where I want my money to go? You may not realize it. You may have memberships that you never use and you're paying for consistently. And I feel like this is the same thing with your energy, right? Your energy, you have to figure out, where is all of my energy going? And does that align with where I'm trying to, you know, get, right? Is that align with how I want to live? Um, you know, they say your your energy should be put into what you value most. And I think that people in general, if they don't practice moderation and look at where they're really dumping their energy, this can be way off balance, way off balance. I mean, I would say when I was in the corporate world, I would say, you know, the thing that matters to me most is my family. But I was giving 15, 16 hours a day to work. Yes, I was taking care of my family with the money I was earning, but my family got lost in the mix. Like, they were not getting the best of me or even their equal share, you know? So I feel like that is what this is saying here. Okay, so next we have apophyllite, increased support, your positive focus and willingness to receive have, let me start over. I'm so sorry. Your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened the doorway to an abundance of help and opportunities. Interesting. So I feel like, you know, it's saying find your center, open yourself to your passions, practice moderation, and you're going to get more support. So this could, whatever it is, could, you know, free up some time to pursue your passions, what gives you fire inside. So an abundance of help and opportunities. Now the other part of this is sometimes when we get really caught up in this, you know, day-to-day things, and we feel like you don't delegate anything to anybody. And I'm not talking about at work, although it can be, but I really feel like these pick-a-piles are really focused on, you know, your own personal energies and working with your spirit team. So I feel like sometimes we're not open to allowing others to help us, right? We're not open to receiving support. We feel like we're the only ones that can do things the way we want them done. But at some point, that control is what's going to bog you down. You're not going to have time to even appreciate the things that you're working on, right? To appreciate those that you love. I get a strong sense of love and passion here, and just not having the time for it. And guess what? You're being offered support and opportunities, and you may have time for those if you allow it. It's like, you know, kind of endless circle here, right? You have to be open to the support to get the opportunities to also get more support, right? All right. So next we have balancing act. And this goes right under this fire. This goes very well with what we're talking about. This is definitely about balancing out where you're putting your energies, definitely. But it can also be talking about balancing out, your own internal world, right? Balancing the light and the dark. You have to have both. There's no eradicating all darkness. You have to accept that, right? You have to accept that darkness and not let the darkness overtake you. But you also have, you can't let the light overtake you either, right? You have to have the yin and in the yang. If you're all light, you're blinding yourself to the negative things that can be happening, right, in life. So definitely a balancing act. Find your center, find what you're passionate about, practice moderation, allow that increased support. Next, we have peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Beautiful. Because essentially that's what we want. Peace, harmony. We want things to all work together. But you have to balance it out. You have to, make sure that anywhere that you're putting energy that is not for the betterment of you and what you love needs to go. It needs to go. That's where you're going to get the conflict or the chink in the chain, if you will. Peace is going to come by recognizing all parts and what is needed and what's not. Next, we have moon cycles, Archangel Haniel. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon these cycles. Okay, so this is about being in tune with the cycles of the earth, the moon, and how your intentions and manifestations happen in accordance with these moon cycles. And if you have trouble with this, reach out to Archangel Haniel and say, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. And you will feel led. Find your center. Get back to what you're passionate about so that you have clear intentions in order to manifest. And the last card we have out is the Merbaby. The skill of being in harmony increases your effectiveness. So as much as, like I was saying here with this card, as far as finding your center, as far as releasing some control of your situations and allowing others to support you, that is this act of harmony, this balancing. And that is where you're going to be more effective. So you think you're being very productive, getting shit done by handling everything on your own and not allowing support. But you're not. The balance act is up. You need to get back to a place of harmony, and then essentially you're going to be more effective handling everything because you're going to allow support. You're going to cut out the things that don't align with your purpose or where you're trying to go. You're going to figure out what your true intentions are and what you're trying to manifest, and you're going to get that harmony. Okay, and that's what it's saying here. So I'm just going to get a couple things clarified before we close this out. Why is practice moderation here? And we get the Six of Vessels. So this is the Six of Cups energy. And so this could be really talking about, it could be talking about your children if you have children. It could also be talking about going back to, how things were, simplifying things. And it's just, that if you're dealing with a relationship that has a lot of chaos going on, I feel like, you're being asked to bring harmony to that by saying, remember when. Remember when. Remember when we first met. Remember why, remember how you felt the day we got married. Remember that day that we did this and we were so in love. Taking yourself back to that time. That's really what I'm getting here. And that's going to bring a new fire to this whole relationship, if it's a relationship. Let's get clarifying on the moon cycles. Why is the moon cycles here? And we get the 5 of vessels. So I feel like you need to be very clear about your intention to heal from a previous situation. This could be the loss of a loved one. This could be this really could be about helping somebody else who has lost a loved one. That's what I'm getting here. But also recognizing that the universe is here. Just turn around, and you have love right behind you. You have support. You have that support. That's what I'm getting here. Okay, so that is the message for group 2. I do hope that this helped you in some way. It was a beautiful reading, definitely. And if you felt led to watch video 3, or I'm sorry, the segment for pile 3, just keep watching. Just stick around. For those of you that this is where we part, I do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. And remember that the universe has your back, and so do I. Okay, just clearing out for group 3. Okay, so group 3. All right, so the overlying energy is the crown chakra. Okay, so let's see what questions we need to ask ourselves in regard to the crown chakra. Am I open to receive from Source? Do I give my love freely without conditions when it is appropriate? Have I placed conditions on my relationships with others? Are others placing conditions on the love they are giving me? So those are questions that will really help you if you can answer for yourself. Obviously, everybody would answer differently. So, but if you were drawn to group 3, this is going to trigger some answers for you. All right, so the next thing we have is be proud. It's time to celebrate all that you've achieved, all that you are, and all that you will become. Every once in a while, it's important to stop and acknowledge what you've achieved and to be proud. Okay, so I'm getting this message that according to the questions for this crown chakra, right? I feel like there's definitely a need to recognize the work that you've been putting in spiritually. This could be in regard to something totally else. It may resonate for you in another area. But the message that I'm getting, because this is the overlying energy, is that you have really been working on yourself spiritually. I feel like I see all this wonderful blossoms and all the weeds have been picked out. And this may be your next, the crown chakra may be your next step that you're working towards, or you're getting some healing, or you're getting some alignment that's happening through your crown chakra that's really going to propel you forward. And I feel like in order to keep going, to stay motivated, you have to recognize how far you've come. So like I said, this may resonate with you in another area. It could be in a relationship. It could be in a job or whatever it is for you. It could be a creative goal you've had. But for me, interpreting it, I'm seeing this as a spiritual journey here. All right, the next thing we have out is know your truth. And I feel like there is no better way to learn your truth and then know your truth than than working on yourself spiritually and allowing yourself to be open to the guidance that the divine is trying to give you. But I also feel like this card here is saying, know your truth, be proud. You may even be prompted to share that with others because that could help them on their spiritual journey. But we'll see what else comes out here. Next, we have the titanium rainbow quartz, multifaceted. There are many layers and dimensions to the situation or person you are asking about. Now, this is going to apply differently for all of you because it depends on what situation you had in mind when you picked pile 3. But if I'm going with this storyline here that I see, this spiritual journey, it's like like I said, there's steps, there's victories you've had along the way, and you need to be proud of that. You're recognizing your truth, but this is multifaceted. It's not just about getting this crown, getting to the crown chakra, right? It's about the whole journey and really knowing your truth. And I feel like this has to do with achieving your life's purpose or finally recognizing it, if you will. But it's a really beautiful, beautiful card that titanium rainbow quartz may be something that really helps you in this soul journey. And next we have slow and steady. So some of you, and this is coming out under this crown chakra. So I feel like what Spirit is also saying is don't rush it, don't push it, don't put pressure on yourself to be, achieving any particular alignment or step, if you will, in your spiritual journey. Just keep at it. Just keep at it. There is a transformation happening. Yes, it looks like a snail, but she's also got wings. It's like, eventually you will fly. You will fly. And that is the message I'm getting there. Oh, again, the next one is patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So this goes really exactly with that. I mean, have patience. Be proud of what you're accomplishing. Know your truth, right? But be patient. Allow things to happen in divine timing. You may have some, quick upswings, especially with a lot of the cosmic activity. There may be triggers for you that really, it's kind of like you could go either way on this. This could make you dive to the depths or make you soar to the sky. As long as you know your truth, you're continuing on your path. Allow divine timing to happen. Okay, the next thing that we get is clairvoyance. Archangel Raziel, I am helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. Beautiful. So knowing your truth, clearly seeing heavenly love, that's worth the wait. That's worth the wait as far as I'm concerned. So some of you may really be developing some clairvoyance or already have always known you're clairvoyant. Know your truth, but also know that we are ever-changing, multifaceted beings, and nothing is above God. You could be given a gift suddenly. The next we have Melusina. I hope I'm saying that right. The calm of patience brings a tranquil sea of protection. Wow, we keep getting this patience, slow and steady, patience, patience. Yeah, wow. So there's definite message for patience and slow and steady, and I feel like it's almost saying allow your mental body to understand what's going on below, in a sense, what's going on inside. And don't know your truth inside. It's not about even speaking your truth, it's about knowing it. But with the be proud, I feel like there may be definitely a chance for you to share your truth. Maybe it's with a particular person that needs to hear it. Maybe it's a conversation. And you are being divinely protected. You have Archangel Raziel. And then this card is saying, the calm of patience brings a tranquil sea of protection. Tranquil sea of protection. That's emotional protection. That's beautiful. All right, so let's clarify this multifaceted. Let's see what this is in reference to. And we get the High Priestess. So yeah, we're seeing clairvoyance, we're seeing the High Priestess. There is much more to this than you know. The High Priestess has a whole lot of secrets, but you're going to know your truth. You're going to find out some things about yourself, about others, and I feel like this definitely has to do with some spiritual gifts that you will be exploring and building. Sometimes we don't even know, like I said before, we don't even know. We could just have a sudden, wake up one day and all of a sudden we're having visions or clairsentience or whatever the particular gift is for you. Okay, that is the message. I don't think anything else needs to be clarified here. It's a beautiful message. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And remember that the universe has your back, and so do I. Take care.